Not sure if anyone else has joined yet.
Cool. Hello. Come on. 5, 3. Much edit.
Hello. I think we're slightly early.
Are we?
I think so.
Oh, we're 2 minutes early, woman.
We're 2 minutes early, sorry.
Well, you were, was it 10 minutes late last time?
I was unorganised for the last live stream, so you know.
So.
Is there anyone else on there? It says 2. There might be us and one other. Hello, another person.
Yeah. Oh. Do we start?
3. I think someone else has joined in.
Are we going to wait for this?
Hello, people. We'll give it another minute. There's 4. Oh, there we go. People are joining. Hi.
G'day.
Hi, Max. So Max, I promised I'll do it at the start. Max Patterson, my daughter's friend from school, has a YouTube channel. He does tricks on the trampoline. So if you want to see that, visit Max Patterson. There you go. And yes, Clint is John Espin's hero.
I blush slightly, I do.
You blush.
Yes,
the camera just doesn't show it. He blushes. He's shy. So anyway, shall we kick it off? Free ads. Yeah. Visit the Stupid Robot Fighting League too. They sponsor half of our videos. So, you know.
Yeah.
Now, Annie, hi. I see you're on there. Your landlord was getting you a heat pump and you said something about it being second hand. What's your thoughts?
Just no.
Just no. Can we elaborate?
Well, if they're the only ones I'd pay any sort of money for, if they had been removed by someone you trust, and quite frankly, I just don't trust that many people. And if haven't got some sort of formal warranty behind them, they're not worth it, especially if they're 5, 6 years old, because a lot of units are only made to last 10 to 14 years. They seem to be lasting that you get out of it. So if you're getting something, paying any money towards something that's 6 or 7 years old, you're only going to get 6 or 7 years out of it, and the installation cost is pretty big. So I'd rather go new. You know, that's my thing. And plus the amount of times, I guarantee you, it's all good. Trust me. And then you hook it up and it goes pop. But the guy who pulled it out said it was fine. So what did you do? And it's like, no way.
Okay. So things can go wrong when they're taking it out.
Yeah, and there's a lot of guys there. I don't like bagging electricians, but you know, they take them out, they leave the pipes open, they get moisture in it, and they take them up, but it's never quite as good. And then they have moisture problems, and compressors don't last as long. And yeah, I just don't do it.
Yeah. Very good. I see. Hi Kiwi Farms. They left us a message the other day, and I think we responded on the tappy, but we'll just in case anyone else is considering it. They were saying they had a well-insulated house, double glazing, all that sort of thing. But their bedroom was at the southern side of the house and got really, really cold in winter. And they wanted a heat pump, but budget was pretty tight. And thoughts on getting a window heat pump, one of those big boxy things, isn't it? That goes in a window.
Yeah, they are cheap. I actually walked into a Chinese importer the other day and saw them and thought, wow, that is cheap. But no, I just don't like it, because the amount of times I've seen them put in windows and then the windows start leaking, and when it's not running, they actually have no thermal value. So if you're going to turn it off at night, you've basically got a great big hole in the wall.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so if you've got a big square cut in the wall and you want to turn it off to go to bed, you might as well have the window half open. So it's that's why I wouldn't go with that at all. But I have looked around, and one of my big 3 top brands would be Daikin, Mitsubishi Electric, and Panasonic. And
Is
Panasonic,
that for the window units or high walls in general?
that's for high walls,
Okay.
and you can actually pick up Panasonics pretty cheap if you know someone who will install them. You know, and Panasonic is that, you know, there's pitfalls, pros and cons, and with everyone, and Panasonic will do exactly as it's stated to do, and they've within their warranty period they are really good, which is why I like them.
Yeah.
Or they have been good in the past. I haven't used them for a couple of years, and yeah, they do what they're stated to do, cold and hot. The only thing is their outdoor units, the fan speed ramps up a little bit more than the Daikins and the Mitsubishis, but you know,
Yeah.
but it's a good trade-off. It's for a good brand. They do what they're rated to do, so I like them.
Oh, now Kiwi Farms has said they want it in the wall.
In the wall.
But like a window unit installed in the wall sort of thing.
You mean on the wall?
They said they have a Fujitsu already.
In the wall. In the wall. You mean as in like one of the floor-mounted recessed units?
Yeah, cut a hole.
If you're talking about the floor-mounted recessed units, Daikin did do a really nice one, and also Panasonic actually do one under license, which is basically the old Daikin model, I believe, and they're quite good. But if you're going to cut them and recess them right into a wall, because I think they're the best type for actually purely for the heating purpose, and they tuck up nice out of the way, you actually have to get a builder in to actually cut out the studs, and that can, so you can put them on the outside wall, but you have to get it. And I've seen the odd Friggy and the odd Sparky make a bit of a mess out of it, and I personally won't do it unless a builder has already gone in and actually made the hole in the wall. So that's just another cost, another person, another set of cost that have to go in. And yeah, so it is doable. But the floor mount units are a little bit more expensive, but they do work pretty well.
Oh, yeah. Now, I think Annie asked another question there. Who do you recommend to buy from? And do the suppliers install them as part of the price, or is that extra?
So no, it's usually extra. So you can buy Panasonics from do they have Smith City up in the North Island?
I'm not sure.
Because for a while I could actually buy them cheaper than I could buy.
I think Smith City might just be South Island from memory, but I'm not sure.
And Harvey Norman do. You could go to Smith City. What's that?
Max was saying the camera's a bit laggy.
Oh, sorry.
That could be our computer. I don't know.
Yeah. Was it? What were we saying?
Smith City.
No, generally when there's a price, it's that plus installation. Some of them actually have install included in that price, but it will only be a direct back to back. And I've seen some of the installs that they get those people to do, and I just, I would rather go to a reputable company within the area, for a back to back. I think you're looking. I've seen installs cheap as $750 and as expensive as $1,000 type thing here in the South Island. I think it's a bit more pricier in the North Island, but I haven't been up there for a long time. So.
Oh yeah. Now when he says back to back, just for those who don't know, it means the high wall on one side of the wall and the outside unit directly on the other side of the wall.
Yeah.
So there's no pipes running across the house to put the outside unit in another place. So that's always the cheapest install, isn't it? Back to back.
Yeah. One day I might do an install video of this is what a good, nice install should look like.
Yeah. Now someone called Anne Sheard asked a question earlier on. What do you recommend for heat pump maintenance?
What's that?
Heat pump maintenance.
What do I
just general maintenance?
Basically just every 3 months. The most important thing is to clean the filters. And if you're using it on cooling a lot, you can get. I looked it up. They reckon Dettol Extra Plus or something. Is that the one we looked up? That you can actually squirt in the coil to disinfect it. And when you disinfect the coil, it kills the bugs in it, but more importantly, it kills any mold in the drip tray that might block up your drain, because that's really annoying during summer when it's producing a lot of water. And in the North Island, you'll get it that they produce up like 20 litres a day sometimes. You don't want to block drain, and it's just mold, and the disinfectant will kill the mold in your drain and hopefully keep it cleaner a little bit longer. And of course, I went to a breakdown the other day and looked at this unit, and they had never washed the outdoor unit out. And more often than not, the rain will get in there and wash it. But just where it was in that house between the fence, it never got the rain on it, and it wasn't self-washing. So, hosing it out like on our video that we've done is
Someone's asked, what's the coil?
the coil. Okay, the coil, when you pop open the lid on a air conditioning unit,
Like on a high wall.
just the front cover, you lift it up, you take out your filters, and those little bits of aluminium running downwards like a radiator, that's your indoor coil. And the outdoor coil, which you would hose out once every couple of years, or just make sure that there's no vegetation growing through it. The outdoor coil, that's on the outdoor unit, and that's a silver or blue steel-looking thing, because sometimes they give it a plastic coating to help it survive in the weather a bit better.
Yeah, we actually did a video a while back on cleaning it, and I sort of I took the filters out and showed where the coil was. So yeah, but that's not as important as cleaning the filters itself, is it?
Yeah, the filters are the big thing. And
you can just vacuum the filters or give them a wash.
Yeah. Once your heat pump gets to about 5 years old, I'd say, and if it's a heavy use one, after 4 to 5 years, preferably while it's still just within warranty, just in case they find something wrong with it, or you've got a slightly noisy fan. Because if it's someone who's been doing it for a long time, they can walk in. Oh, yep, that's a noisy bearing. You can tell it's going, but you might be able to get it fixed, that part under warranty. Get someone in to look at it, and if they know their stuff, they'll check the indoor scroll fan, which Sarah does show in her video, but it's a bit hard to actually show you what it is. And sometimes they actually block up with a bit of mold and dirt that actually gets through the filters. Or if you use it on cooling, it will actually get a bit of stuff and actually grow on it, and it will actually stop the air from flowing properly. And then you need to completely strip it down, remove the fan, wash it out, and that you really need a technician for that. But a lot of these specialist heat pump cleaning companies don't actually know what to look for, or they don't look for it because they know that they can't do it. So, yeah.
Cool. Now, someone called Heidi Kong left a message earlier as well, saying, does the direction the heat pump is facing make a huge difference? She's talking about it's currently facing her front entrance. Probably hard without seeing the floor plan. Currently facing her front entrance, and she's thinking of moving it to face the living area. And would moving it be worth the cost?
I can't. Sometimes it really does, but I can't tell you without actually seeing your floor plan. But the most important thing is to make sure that your heat pump is actually sized correctly for your heating requirements. That's more of a bigger thing, is making sure that you've got a heat pump big enough, and making sure that your windows and stuff are, you've got the good drapes and things like that. At this time of year. Although there was one woman who liked getting up in the morning and opening her ranch slider up because she liked the fresh air in the morning, and she wanted to heat the entire planet. And
I shouldn't laugh.
Oh no, I went there once and she said that obviously it's working fine. I can't understand why it's not working. And she got me there early at 8 o'clock one morning, on a frosty morning, and she went and opened the doors. And I asked, why are you opening the doors? And she said, I do that every morning. And yeah.
Landlord has asked them where they want it. Oh, and he's asking where they should put it.
That is also a hard one.
Draw us a floor plan.
Send us a floor plan through, and I'll have a look at it.
Yeah.
But back to backs are always the cheapest. So if you can put it on an outer wall and a unit back to back, that would be best for your landlord. I would normally put it in your main living area where you know, in the lounge, not so much in the kitchen. We've had people put them in lounge kitchen areas and put them close to the stove, and they suck up all the cooking grease and oil, and it really shortens their lives, which is that. And yeah. So yeah, I have to look at your floor plan. But if you're doing it up and over and you're having it on an internal wall, you've got to remember that drainage is a problem, and you'll probably have to put a pump on it, and that's something else that has to be checked over every couple of years as well. So that's just more cost.
And are they noisy?
Wow.
Probably varies.
It varies. I find most of them are actually fairly quiet. Out of the top three brands, like Panasonic, that you'll actually hear the outdoor unit when it ramps up over the indoor unit sometimes when you have the fan speed going, but generally they're not that noisy. But then some people don't like them having them in their bedrooms, so because like when you turn the lights out, you can hear it.
Yeah, I'm fussy about hums. Now someone's just put Daikin floor standing heat pumps. The air feels warm coming out of the unit across the room. Oh, out of the unit, but across the room the airflow feels cool.
Oh, that is okay. Right, I've got you. This gets a lot of people. It's wind chill, because it is blowing and moving the air around, and it has to heat up that entire volume. But as it's moving the air around, you can have the air at it coming out of it at 50 degrees. But by the time it goes across the room, it feels cold, a bit like the wind, even though it's warming up the air.
So it's pushing the existing air.
Yeah, because you've got to mix it and pass the cold air through the machine, and you can.
Okay.
Yeah, even
depends if it's like that consistency, or is that just when it first starts?
I would say it's probably the other thing is you can have room in the air that's 20 degrees, and with a bit of airflow, if it's like borderline, it will feel cold on you because it's blowing on you. I wish I'd planned it. There is actually a proper way of putting it. I do understand. I have had that before. I have had someone saying it's not working. It's blowing cold air on me, and I'm there with the thermometer saying, "Well, this is 60 degrees air off." But when you're sitting there and you can feel it, it's circulating all the air around.
Okay, so it needs to be on for quite a while before the air starts to feel warm.
If it's set up right, like if you put your remote onto auto fan, when the room starts getting up to temperature, they actually back off, so it's not going at full force all the time. Okay. And when it's cold, they ramp right up to try and get the maximum amount of air changes out of the unit. And when it ramps down, you can't feel it. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I keep on. I'm not used to looking at the computer. Sorry, so I keep on talking to Sarah.
The place is so tiny. Would you recommend a freestanding unit? Do they exist? Landlord will still buy them. And yes, landlord is making us do all the homework.
Oh, right.
Freestanding unit.
No, I hate them.
That's a simple answer.
They are not worth it. If you mean freestanding, you mean the all-in-ones. Because they are noisy. They're the ones that you can wheel in and out of the room. So if you have it in one room, you can turn it on, heat and cooling. You can wheel it into the next one. You've actually got they're like around about 1.8 kilowatts, so they're not very powerful. I think you can get bigger ones, but I've never dealt with them. But you've actually got to have a vent to remove the cold air outside. So as it's heating air up to 50 degrees and shooting it out of the main vent, oh, that's nice. Down the bottom, it's putting out air at -8. Yeah. Or alternatively, when you put it onto cooling, you got that nice cold air coming out the top, out the bottom, it's shooting out 50-degree air. So you've got to dissipate the energy somewhere, and normally that means opening a window and putting the the air outside. So for heating purposes, if a freestanding one is it's so not the way to go. They are very cheap, but I only ever use them for server rooms when I just need cooling and I can open the window to let all the hot air out.
Yeah. Now, Sarah Mandino asked a question the other day. She said she's got a setup that sounds like it's like our one, a fireplace with heat transfer around the place. She cleans out the vents every couple of months, but do you need to clean out the tubes in the ceiling at any stage?
Ah, right.
Because we've got filters in ours, don't we?
Yeah, we put filters in ours, and that is actually a very uncommon thing. But I have had it where I've gone in and they're saying the fan's not working and the bearings have broken on a fan. So I've gone and changed the fan out. I've looked through the duct. Instead of the duct being that wide, it's full of fluff and it's only that wide. And so,
so the duct is the tube.
The duct is the tube. Sorry,
I'm just trying to avoid any,
the
jargony.
duct is the tube.
Yeah.
And it's actually easier to actually change the tube / duct than it is to almost, unless it's solid. And up in the North Island, there are actually cleaning companies. I actually think they take the things off and actually put vacuum cleaners down. I've never actually seen them do it, but I know that there are duct cleaning companies out there.
That'd be something that needs doing often.
No, it's a bit like the heat pumps. Maybe you should get a professional in once every 5 years just to give it a good going over.
Oh yeah.
And when you get that person to give it a good going over, want to say, listen, I want someone in there. I only want them on site for 45 minutes. I want someone with quite a bit of background who knows what they're looking at, not an apprentice.
Yeah.
That's one of my.
Not to bag apprentices. Clint was an apprentice once.
It was a long time ago.
Be nice.
Yeah, well, no, but I mean, generally, a lot of people, they pay $160 for a service. The guy comes in, cleans the filter, washes it, turns it on, fans are working, and walks out. And they think, well, what did I pay that money for? And I actually had that complaint today, and it's like, well, and I'm going through checking everything, and I've got the covers off and hosing out the unit. And they said, well, how come you're doing it? And I said, well, it's just, you know what to do. And some people are lazy. So, yeah.
Very good. Now, I'm just going to throw this one in here. So although we covered it in our last video, everyone asks this, and everyone has their own opinion. Is it cheaper to turn your heat pump off or to leave it running 24/7?
Oh, that drives me nuts. It purely depends on the insulation within your house. If it's not a very well insulated house, then you might as well just have it on when you're sitting down watching TV and have it directly heating you. Turn it off when you go to bed and jump to bed with a hot water bottle and a cat. Basically, a cat.
A cat, not a dog.
Dogs get a bit smelly in bed.
Okay.
Yeah. So Anyway, and if you're well insulated, then the trick would be like we've got a fairly well insulated house, and it was costing us more to turn it off and on because you've got to think it takes a lot of money or energy to heat everything up to 22 degrees from 5 or 6 degrees. And the brilliance of a heat pump is that to keep it at that 22 degrees, once it's there, it only has to run at 10 or 20%. And that's where it saves you money, is where if you turn it on every morning, it has to ramp up and put all that energy to keep it there. So it's cheaper just to keep it at that temperature rather than that cool and heat. But, you need to, if you've got a house with piles, you definitely want some sort of underfloor insulation, and make sure that your insulation in your house is good. Is a biggie one.
A biggie one.
Hmm.
Very good. I think that's all the questions we had in advance. On an app called TikTok. Good on you, Max. Put the cat in the hot water bottle. Yeah, no, I'm not going to endorse that.
Who said that? No.
I'd like to see you try it.
I wouldn't.
You'd come out worse off.
Yeah.
Anyone else got any questions? Any questions whatsoever? It doesn't even have to be about heat pumps. Random, not too random.
Oh, I've got one. Someone mentioned
You've got
one.
A question.
And that was someone got annoyed at a ad with someone, a particular brand, saying that they couldn't put a heat pump above a window. And the short answer is yes, you can, depending on where the window is. And it's purely down to structural integrity, because if you've got a big bay window, if you haven't got enough space to physically fit the width of it, then you can't put it in there. But also, a lot of people have gotten stung, and it's happened to me a couple of times. Once I said I wasn't going to do it, and they told me to do it regardless, and I said no. And the other time was we knocked on a wall above a bay window, and it's like, oh, it's hollow. And they thought that they could put one in, and we cut a little hole in the back of it to stick the pipes through, and there was a great big steel RSJ in it. It was supporting half the house, and so you can actually stick the pipes through.
Yeah.
So,
Kiwi farms. Heat transfer systems, are they worth it?
yes.
If you've got the right setup, I suppose.
If you've got the right setup, if you've where is it? Smooth Air is a where I normally go to get all of my bits and pieces made for when I'm building one or putting one in the house. And I prefer doing a custom build on the plan, rather than just get a kit set, because you can get Smart Vent and
Smooth Air, are they New Zealand wide?
Smooth Air are in Christchurch. They may be in Auckland. I think they might hit, but I know in Christchurch people can walk in off the street. They will bring in their house plans and say, I want this, 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 and you can actually buy all the parts off the net, because I actually used them to get my costing of $17.50 for the cost of putting my one in. It was how much it would have cost if I had to buy everything. And I decided I was going to go for a bigger fan, as where if you go to a lot of companies, they just think, well, you're putting a 150mm fan here and duct it off to each bedroom, and I've just seen it go wrong. But the thing is, when people spend $3 or $4 on it, if it sort of works, they're sort of happy with it, and that really annoys me.
You don't like people sort of happy?
Well, no, I mean,
really happy.
if you've never had if you put a heat transfer in it, ho hum, you can feel the heat coming out of it and it sort of works, then you don't know the difference between, like our one, it works. You can walk and you feel the whole house is warm. It's not excessively blowy on you, except in one place, which is right in between the two bedrooms.
Which is just on the hallway, so that's fine.
Yeah, but I mean, the heat transfer is running at the moment in this room, and it's nice and look, shirt. See, it must work.
I'm a wimp.
Yeah, but she's a wimp. Yeah.
Reasonable price for 3-bedroom. Is that would that be a duct going into each room?
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Reasonable price. If you're looking at doing it yourself, if it's a small little house, then you can pick up cheap units to do from Bunnings and stuff that have like nice little controllers, but you'll probably still have to get an electrician to wire it in off the lights. They don't take much power. And what do I see their 3-bedroom ones going for? They had systems, they were about $1,000. I would probably look at going to a reputable air conditioning company and going through them, because it's a bit hard to do the calculations without
They'd
actually
do a
seeing.
quote for free, wouldn't they?
Yeah, most of them will. Most of them
Yeah.
will do a quote for free, and most of them will, you know, if they rock up and say, "Yeah, we can put this in," just make sure they actually stick their heads up in the ceiling and actually look at what you've got. If they don't, then I wouldn't hire them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes if you get one designed, it will cost a little bit more at the time, but save you a lot more in the future.
I see he's got a plug in the ceiling just in case he wants to do it.
Oh, okay.
There
Yeah.
we go.
If you look at our video, you'll see we've got a little speed controller. You do have to have some way of turning it on and off. You could run power back down a wall. Because I've got a switch in my ceiling so I can isolate the fan, because it's a legal requirement to have isolation within so many mils of a fan. But that's actually just running off a light circuit, because there was next to no loading on that particular light circuit. So I hooked it into there. Where was I going with this?
I'm not sure. You're telling the story.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if it's a small, like 100 square meter house, like we used to have, I think those little kits are generally fine. The only thing you have to look out for is if you're ducting into each room, is that you don't pressurize each room, because I had an old lady who had one, but she had a switch in each room to turn a damper, which closed the vents off. And she closed off the other room in her house, and she left her one on. She turned it on before she went to bed, hopped into bed, and got up in the morning. She couldn't open the door, and she didn't realize it was because the fan had slowly pressurized the room. And the other thing is, if you're taking it into each room and you're having it on, it sometimes makes the doors pop open if it's not balanced and done correctly. So there is a little bit of an art to it.
Yeah. Max's mum says hi. Hi, Renee.
Hi, Renee.
Love the bee video with Olivia. Please make more. Yeah, we'll be having to look at wintering down our beehives pretty soon. So we'll probably do a video where we winter down our beehives. And yes, Olivia is still up. She's just been quiet in the background. So
yeah. Yeah, I recommend going on to the taking your floor plans into Smooth Air and potentially having a look. I mean, I'm all for doing everything yourself if you can. So, yeah.
As long as you're confident doing it, I suppose. Or,
oh yeah. Don't let me pressure you or anything like that.
Don't let Clint tell you what to do.
Yeah.
And the Leighton Down Memorial Beehive, yes. We did name a beehive after someone random that I don't know. Don't ask.
But it brought someone we do know a lot of joy, and we are happy for it.
It gave a little boy a lot of joy. So yes. Oh, I'm not sure if there's any other burning questions apart from you, Max. Max has been very busy on the comment section.
Yes, thanks for the comments, Max.
Oh, did your mum like the song? Oh, we haven't. We tried sending it to her on Facebook, and it wouldn't go through. So I'm going to have to email it to her. She is dying to listen to it. Tips on uploading a YouTube video. Yes, Max. Just I'm not sure what to say about tips. Make sure you type in a good description. Lots of keywords, that sort of thing. So.
And make sure you're regular.
Think about what people might want to search for when you think about what to title your YouTube video. Hot trampoline jumping.
Yes, there is. It's called a trade certificate.
Should read the question just in case. There's a master builders. Is there a same qualification for you guys?
There should be. I would not go to anywhere that is predominantly an electrical company. It's just because electricians try to hand it everything, and just too many. I don't like knocking out.
How would they know though?
You could go to, like, down here in I would go to any refrigeration company and see who they would use, and if they wouldn't do it, who would they recommend in the area? Because I don't want to be too honest on the internet live, because there's some places I would not recommend.
There isn't like a master builders thing, is there? You're either qualified or you're not qualified.
Yeah. Either you're a fridgie or not. I'd go. I'm just trying to think of, is there anyone up in Auckland that I still know? Yeah, I mean, I would go to look at a fridge company and look them up, see how long they've been doing it, and and just remember that get 3 quotes and don't always pick the cheapest.
Yeah, well, it'll be a landlord paying for it.
Oh, true.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, well, if it's the landlord paying for it, I'd either go Panasonic, Mitzi Electric, or Daikin. Daikin is always my favorite because it's the best to install. It's just, they make everything easy for the installer. And Mitsubishi aren't too bad either. And they have really good after sales service. I do like Mitsubishi. They've been top of the game lately as far as I'm concerned.
Very good.
And Panasonic, I haven't done anything with them for a while, but they were still in my top 3 because, that's one of the more budget ones that's good.
Oh, yeah. We did used to have one in our house in the North Island, didn't we? Was that a Panasonic?
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
I stuck a Panasonic in for your brother as well.
Oh, yeah.
For your brother, and I stuck a Panasonic in for your mum and dad, and that's been going for 8 years now.
Yeah.
No problems. So, yeah.
There you go.
Along with the Daikin. Yeah.
Very good. So, unless anyone else has got anything burning. Yeah, Max, you don't. Yeah. Can we see Olivia?
No, you don't want to see Olivia. Not at the moment.
Yep, Clint, you installed a Daikin for my parents above their ranch slider. It's been brilliant.
Yep. So there's no reason you can't install units above ranch sliders and stuff. It's just you've got to be careful about cutting into the structures of houses, and sometimes you can put them where you want them, and sometimes you shouldn't. And a good engineer should know the difference when.
There we go. Oh, well. I reckon the questions are drying up, unless. Yes, yeah. Thank you, John Espin, Stupid Robot Fighting League. Pay them a visit. You've been a great little moderator on this page.
Yeah.
So, oh well, we'll call it a day. So
yeah, and if anything comes to you from this that you might just drop us, hit us up.
Leave a message down below, even, because this will still be there later for people to listen to. So
yeah, and send us your house plans. I can always look at doing a heat load calculation for you, Annie, or anyone.
Yeah, Clint's happy. It's like a game to him doing heat load calculations. So send him your floor plans.
Yeah,
he's a happy boy.
Yeah. Because one of the things that really annoys me, and I've actually bumped into it a couple of times just this very week, is people who have put in undersized units to win quotes, and that is my pet hate. So you want me to do a heat load calculation? I will not underestimate how much you need. Yeah.
Very good. Oh well, we'll call it a night, shall we? We'll go and get the kids into bed, or at least get 1 out of 3. We'll see how we go. Heat load calculation. It's the name of Clint's metal band. Good idea.
I like that.
Heat load calculation.
Heat load calculations. I like it. Yep, I can see me fronting a band like that. All right.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Stay tuned for Clint Smith and the heat load calculations.
Oh. Cool. Thanks,
All
guys.
right. Bye.